Matilda chronicles the story of a gifted young person whose deceitful and untrustworthy parents made her feel like an outcast, but her luck soon turned when she acquired telekinetic abilities. Rather than being enlisted by Professor Xavier for the X-Men, she's dispatched to an elementary school that's more akin to a penitentiary. DeVito helmed this cherished 1996 motion picture, adapted from the children's novel by Roald Dahl, the author of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, The Witches, and James and the Giant Peach. Here's what the Matilda cast has been up to. Danny DeVito as Mr. Wormwood. Danny DeVito took on the role of Mr. Wormwood in the 1996 movie Matilda, where he portrayed the greedy and indifferent father of the main character, Matilda Wormwood. DeVito's performance was highly acclaimed, particularly for his comedic delivery and his ability to embody the character's obnoxious and domineering nature. Born in Neptune Township, New Jersey, at Raleigh-Fitkin-Paul Morgan Memorial Hospital, DeVito is the son of Daniel DeVito Sr., a small business owner, and Julia DeVito, née Mocello. He was raised in a family of 5, along with his parents and 2 older sisters. Of Italo-Albanian heritage, his family originates from San Fele, Basilicata, and the Arbërish Albanian community in Calabria. Growing up near Asbury Park, New Jersey, he often ate at the original Jersey Mike's location, an experience that would eventually lead him to become the sandwich chain's first celebrity spokesperson, with commercials starting in September 2022. DeVito began his acting career off-Broadway in 1969, appearing in plays such as Shoot Anything with Hair That Moves and The Man with the Flower in His Mouth. He portrayed Martini in the 1975 film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, directed by Milos Forman, reprising the role he had played in the 1971 off-Broadway production. His first feature film appearance was in Dreams of Glass, 1970, with early roles in movies such as Lady Liberty, 1971, Hurry Up or I'll Be 30, 1973, and Deadly Hero, 1975. Standing at 4 feet 10 inches, 1.47 meters, DeVito's short stature is due to multiple epiphyseal dysplasia, Fairbanks disease, a rare genetic condition that affects bone development. He met Rhea Perlman on January 17, 1971, after she attended a performance of The Shrinking Bride, which featured DeVito. Throughout their relationship, Perlman and DeVito collaborated professionally multiple times, including in the TV series Taxi and the film Matilda. After being married for 30 years and together for over 4 decades, they separated in October 2012, reconciled in March 2013, and then separated again in 2017. Despite this, they remain close and have no plans to divorce, according to Perlman. Politically, DeVito is a Democrat and a strong advocate for Bernie Sanders. He has worked with musician Mike Patton on a music video and has been involved in several of his concerts. Perlman also contributed a voiceover introduction to one of Mr. Bungle's albums, one of Patton's bands. In 2016, DeVito featured music from Patton's group Faith No More in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. As of now, Danny DeVito has an estimated net worth of $80 million. Embeth Davidtz as Miss Honey. Embeth Davidtz portrayed Miss Honey in the 1996 movie Matilda. Miss Honey is Matilda's compassionate and supportive teacher who quickly recognizes her intelligence and potential. She becomes both a mentor and friend to Matilda, helping her navigate the difficulties she faces both at home and at school. Davidtz was born in Lafayette, Indiana, to South African parents, John and Jean, while her father was studying chemical engineering at Purdue University. When Davidtz was 9 years old, her family moved back to South Africa. She began her acting career at the age of 21 with KPAB in Cape Town, debuting as Juliet in a production of Romeo and Juliet at the Maynardville Open Air Theater. She also appeared in other local plays, such as Stille Nacht, Silent Night, and A Chain of Voices, both of which earned her nominations for South Africa's version of the Tony Awards. From 2009 to 2012, Davidtz portrayed Rebecca Price, wife of Lane Price, in the AMC series Mad Men. She also took on the role of Felicia Coons, the wife of the dean and mother of Chelsea, Becca's best friend, on Showtime's Californication. Davidtz appeared as Annika Blomqvist in the 2011 English-language adaptation of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She also played Mary Parker, Peter Parker's missing mother, in The Amazing Spider-Man, 2012, and its 2014 sequel. In 2016, she joined the cast of Ray Donovan, Season 4, as Sonia Kavitsky. From 2019 to 2021, she played Paige Kessler on The Morning Show, starring alongside Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston, and Reese Witherspoon. In 2021, Davidtz played the adult version of Maddox Kappa in Old, and in 2022, she portrayed Judith Sanders in Not Okay. Davidtz married entertainment lawyer Jason Sloan on June 22, 2002, and they have 2 children. The family resides in Los Angeles. In 2013, Davidtz was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, undergoing chemotherapy, immunotherapy, lymph node removal, and a double mastectomy. During a nude scene in Ray Donovan, where she played a breast cancer survivor, Davidtz chose not to use a prosthetic nipple, instead incorporating her partially reconstructed breast into the character's storyline. Embeth Davidtz currently has a net worth of $5 million. Rhea Perlman as Mrs. Wormwood. Pam Ferris took on the role of Mrs. Wormwood in the 1996 movie Matilda. In the film, she played Matilda's self-centered and vain mother, who is more concerned with her bingo games and television shows than with her daughter's well-being. Mrs. Wormwood is depicted as a cold, uncaring character. Rhea Perlman was born on March 31, 1948, in Coney Island, Brooklyn, to Philip Perlman, a Polish immigrant who managed a doll parts factory, and Adele, a bookkeeper. She grew up in Bensonhurst in a Jewish family with Russian heritage. Her sister, Haida Perlman, is a television writer, story editor, and producer, having worked on Cheers, Frasier, and The Tracy Ullman Show. Perlman's acting career began with a small role as an attendant in the off-Broadway production Dracula Sabbat, which ran from September 1970 to June 1971. In 1972, she had a minor part in the film Hot Dogs for Gauguin. That same year, she appeared in a production of Up, an uppity revue by the West Beth Playwrights Feminist Collective, alongside her future husband, Danny DeVito. One of her early prominent roles was as Zena, the sweet girlfriend of Louis De Palma, played by DeVito, on the TV show Taxi. Afterward, she played a much tougher character in a small play, which caught the attention of producers Glenn and Leigh Charles. This led to her being cast as the sharp-tongued barmaid Carla Tortelli on their sitcom Cheers in 1982. Perlman first met DeVito on January 17, 1971, after attending a performance of The Shrinking Bride, which featured DeVito. 2 weeks later, they moved in together, and on January 28, 1982, they were married. The couple has 3 children, Lucy Chet DeVito, Grace Fan DeVito, and Jacob Daniel DeVito. The couple initially separated in October 2012, but by March 2013, they had reconciled. However, they separated again in March 2017 on friendly terms. Although they no longer live together, Perlman has stated that she has no intention of divorcing DeVito. In a 2019 interview with Andy Cohen, Perlman revealed that she and DeVito have become closer friends since their separation than they were during the last years of their marriage. Rhea Perlman's net worth is estimated to be $60 million. Pam Ferris as Trunchbull. Pam Ferris is the actress who memorably brought Agatha Trunchbull to life, the menacing and tyrannical headmistress of Cruncham Hall, in the 1996 movie Matilda. Trunchbull's bizarre hobbies include hammer-throwing, bullying students, and locking them in a terrifying closet known as the Chokey. With her intimidating build, piercing gaze, and screeching voice, Trunchbull has become one of cinema's most iconic villains. Ferris was born on May 11, 1948, in Hanover, Lower Saxony, Germany, to Welsh parents. Her father was serving in the Royal Air Force at the time. After the family returned to the UK, she grew up in Aberconfig, near Bridgend in Wales, where she also helped out in her family's bakery. Ferris began her acting career at the Mercury Theatre in Auckland, New Zealand, and later performed with several regional theatre companies across the UK. From 1991 to 1993, she played the warm and nurturing Ma Larkin in the ITV series The Darling Buds of May. In 1991, Ferris was featured on the show This Is Your Life, surprised by Michael Aspel while filming The Darling Buds of May at Yorkshire Television in Leeds. In 2004, she took on the role of the loud and unpleasant Marge Dursley in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. In 2006, Ferris played Miriam, a nurturing British activist in Children of Men. She provided the voice for Mrs. Bennet, Auntie Betty, in the animated biographical film Ethel and Ernest, which aired on BBC One in December 2016. In 2019, she portrayed Mrs. Faulkner in Tolkien. Ferris has also lent her talents to several BBC Radio 4 productions. In 2008, she portrayed Mrs. General in a BBC adaptation of the Charles Dickens novel Little Dorrit. From 2009 to 2010, she appeared in the final season of the BBC comedy Gavin and Stacey as Kath Smith, and in 2010, she guest-starred in the sitcom Grandma's House. From 2012 to 2016, Ferris played Sister Evangelina in the popular series Call the Midwife. She was also a guest on BBC Radio 3's Essential Classics with Sarah Walker in 2015. Ferris married actor Roger Frost in 1986, and they live in Eltham, Kent, England. In a 2012 interview with The Guardian, she reflected, "In my younger years, I was completely focused on work. That's why I didn't get married until I was 38 and why I never had children. Not having kids isn't something I regret. I believe I would have been a decent mother, but life took a different course." Pam Ferris has a net worth of $6 million. Jean Speegle Howard as Miss Phelps. Miss Phelps is a minor character in the 1996 film Matilda. She is a young teacher at Cruncham Hall who stands out as one of the few educators who is compassionate and supportive towards the students. Miss Phelps becomes a friend to Matilda and helps her manage the difficulties she faces at school. Jean-Frances Speegle Howard was born in Duncan, Oklahoma, to Louise, née Dewey, and William Allen Speegle. Though she had an early interest in television, her son, Ron Howard, said she largely put her acting career on hold to raise her children. Ron, born in 1954, and Clint, born in 1959. Howard appeared in the 1956 film Frontier Woman alongside her husband, Rance Howard, and their son, Ron, who was just 2 years old at the time. The family also acted together in the 1975 TV film Huckleberry Finn. In 1985, Howard had a small role in the film Cocoon, and in 1986, she appeared as Old Lady Jezebel in the Christmas film A Smoky Mountain Christmas, alongside her husband, who played Dr. Jennings. Throughout the 1990s, Howard made regular appearances on television and in films, guest starring in popular shows like Married, With Children, Grace Under Fire, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, The Wonder Years, and Roseanne. One of her final on-screen speaking roles was as Jim Lovell's mother in the 1995 film Apollo 13. When things looked grim for the crew, Howard's character delivered the memorable line, "If they could get a washing machine to fly, my Jimmy could land it." Her son, Ron Howard, who directed the movie, remarked that it was a standout moment in the film. Jean married actor Rance Howard in 1949, and they had 2 sons, Ron and Clint Howard. Her grandchildren include actresses Bryce Dallas Howard, Paige Howard, Jocelyn Carlyle, Paige's twin, and their brother, Reed Cross. On September 2, 2000, Gene Howard passed away in Los Angeles, California, from heart and respiratory failure at the age of 73. Paul Reubens as FBI agent. Paul Reubens played an FBI agent in the film. Born Paul Rubenfeld on August 27, 1952, in Peekskill, New York, he was raised in Sarasota, Florida, in a Jewish family. His parents, Judy Nay Rosen and Milton Rubenfeld, owned a lamp store. In the 1970s, Reubens began performing in local comedy clubs. Starting in 1977, he made 14 guest appearances on The Gong Show, 4 of which featured him as part of a comedic duo with Charlotte McGinnis, called The Hilarious Betty and Eddie. He soon joined the improv group The Groundlings in Los Angeles, where he performed for 6 years alongside fellow comedians like Bob McClurg, Edie McClurg, John Paragon, Susan Barnes, and Phil Hartman. Reubens and Hartman became close friends, often collaborating on material together. In February 2015, Netflix secured the rights to produce a new Pee-wee movie titled Pee-wee's Big Holiday, with Reubens and Judd Apatow as producers, John Lee directing, and a screenplay co-written by Reubens and Paul Rust. The film premiered on Netflix on March 18, 2016, and received positive reviews. During the release of the Telltale Games series Minecraft Story Mode, Seasons 1 and 2, Reubens gained new fans for his excellent portrayal of the quirky anti-hero Ivor, one of his favorite voice acting roles. Paul Reubens passed away on July 30, 2023, at the age of 70 at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The official cause of death was acute hypoxic respiratory failure. At the time of his passing, he had been battling myelogenous leukemia and metastatic lung cancer, having been diagnosed 6 years earlier, though he had kept the information private. At the time of his death, Paul Reubens had a net worth of $5 million. Tracy Walter as FBI agent. Tracy Walter portrayed an FBI agent. He was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, the son of a truck driver. Walter attended St. Anthony's High School, where he played basketball. He has a son and a daughter. Walter is well known for playing sidekick or henchman characters, such as Bob the Goon in Batman, Cookie in City Slickers, and Malik in Conan the Destroyer. He also starred in the ABC sitcom Best of the West from 1981 to 1982. Walter has appeared in 6 films directed by Jonathan Demme, including Something Wild, 1986, Married to the Mob, 1988, The Silence of the Lambs, 1991, Philadelphia, 1993, Beloved, 1998, and The Manchurian Candidate, 2004. He worked alongside Jack Nicholson in The Two Jakes, 1990, and has shared the screen with Nicholson in 9 films, starting with Goin' South in 1978. In addition, Walter had a minor role with Clint Eastwood in Honky Tonk Man, 1982, where he coined the phrase "right cheer," meaning right here, while playing a gas station attendant, a line also attributed to Andy Griffith on his first comedy album What It Was Football, 1953. He also coined the phrase "make 'em bounce," meaning make them happy, in the film Raggedy Man. Walter's performance as Miller, the philosophical mechanic in Repo Man, 1984, earned him a Saturn Award in 1985 for Best Supporting Actor. In the 2000 movie Aaron Brockovich, he portrayed Charles Embry, the PG&E worker who provided the key memo connecting a PG&E executive to the Hinkley water contamination scandal. On television, Walter has made guest appearances in numerous shows, including WKRP in Cincinnati, Taxi, Charlie's Angels, Hill Street Blues, Amazing Stories, Moonlighting, On the Air, Melrose Place, The Division, Veronica Mars, Criminal Minds, and Cold Case. He had a recurring role as Angel on Nash Bridges from 1996 to 2001, and he portrayed Sheriff Walter Chechevich on Reno 911 from 2003 to 2006. Tracy Walter possesses a net worth of $800,000. Kiami Davael as Lavender. In her inaugural role, Kiami Davael portrayed Lavender, Matilda's initial genuine friend, who plays a practical joke on Miss Trunchbull by placing a frog in her water glass. Subsequent to Matilda, Davael made several television appearances, including stints on Conan the Adventurer, 1998, Moshe, 1999, and The Steve Harvey Show, 1999. Her concluding film was Bruno, 2000, before she took a hiatus from acting. After studying psychology and theater at the University of Kentucky, she is once again pursuing acting, singing, and writing while maintaining contact with her former co-star Mara Wilson. Kiami Davael possesses a net worth of $200,000. Brian Levinson as Michael. Every family of the 1990s seemed to have a sibling who was a bit of a nuisance, and the Wormwoods were no exception. Portrayed by Brian Levinson, Mikey Wormwood's most notable characteristic was his limited intellectual abilities. Before taking on the role, the young actor had already made a name for himself in several notable projects, including the blockbuster sequel Predator 2, 1990, and the popular sitcoms Roseanne, 1991, and The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 1992. Following his appearance in Matilda, Levinson made his final foray into acting with a guest spot on the hit TV show Seinfeld in 1997. He then traded in his acting career for a stint in the U.S. Marine Corps, serving for 9 years. In 2012, he tied the knot with his partner. Today, Levinson works behind the scenes in the San Diego nightlife scene, coordinating events and promotions. R.D. Robb as Roy. R.D. Robb brought the character of Roy to life on the big screen. With a prolific acting career spanning over 20 credits, Robb's most recent work includes lending his voice to the Jade Empire video game. In 2017, he made a memorable appearance as a photographer specializing in headshots in an episode of The Goldbergs, which cleverly wove in nods to his childhood success in A Christmas Story and his mother's profession as a talent manager. Robb also ventured into directing with the 1995 film Don's Plum, which featured a young Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire in starring roles. However, the film's release was marred by controversy, with Robb claiming that it was not, in fact, shelved in the United States. When Robb attempted to secure distribution deals, DiCaprio and Maguire took legal action, ultimately leading to an out-of-court settlement that prohibited the film from being screened in the United States or Canada. Jimmy Cars as Bruce Bogtrotter. Unlike his co-star Mara Wilson, Jimmy Cars's first acting gig was as Bruce Bogtrotter, the cake-thieving schoolboy in Roald Dahl's Matilda. Cars was 12 years old when he was chosen for the role, where he had to stand up to the fearsome Miss Trunchbull and devour an entire 18-inch chocolate cake in front of the entire school. Unsurprisingly, Jimmy avoided chocolate for a while after filming. I had to be on set the whole day, wearing the same clothes every day. The chocolate had hardened on the shirt I was wearing, he explained. For continuity, the chocolate had to be reapplied to my face exactly the way it was the previous day. I couldn't stand the smell of chocolate for a few weeks after. Following Matilda, Cars appeared in just one more movie, The Wedding Singer in 1998, as well as an episode of ER the same year. Today, Jimmy works as a doctor at the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. Jacqueline Steiger as Amanda Thripp. You might remember Jacqueline Steiger from one of the most unforgettable moments in Matilda. She played Amanda Thripp, the girl Miss Trunchbull flung over a fence after swinging her by her pigtails like an Olympic hammer. Steiger landed her first acting role in the 1996 film when she was 9 years old. Since then, she's appeared in various TV shows, movies, and videos. Her most recent acting credit was in 2014, voicing Microwave in the short film Rise of the Kitchen Appliances. In addition to acting, Jacqueline has also worked in production and has 2 writing credits to her name. John Lovitz as Million Dollar Sticky host. John Lovitz portrayed Mickey, a game show host in the film. Born on July 21, 1957 in the Tarzana area of Los Angeles, Lovitz is the son of Harold and Barbara Lovitz. His family is Jewish, with roots in Romania, Hungary, and Russia. His paternal grandfather, Pavel Ianculovici, emigrated from Romania around 1914, changing his name to Philip Lovitz upon arriving in the United States. Lovitz's first regular role in a sitcom was as Mole, a detective in a New York City district attorney's office, in the short-lived series Foley Square, 1985-86, starring Margaret Collin. He was a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1985 to 1990, and later said in an interview for Live from New York, An Uncensored History of Saturday Night Live, that his time on the show was the highlight of his career. In 2009, the John Lovitz Comedy Club opened at Universal City Walk in Universal Studios Hollywood. A short comedic film featuring Lovitz and Ken DeVito, directed by Brent Rosk, was shot at the club. The club also hosted the first MMA roasted stand-up show in 2009. In 2020, Lovitz appeared in commercials for Playology, a brand of toys for older dogs, humorously advocating for senior dogs to get their fair share. That same year, he portrayed lawyer Alan Dershowitz in an episode of Saturday Night Live, alongside Adam Driver, who played Jeffrey Epstein. In 2023, Lovitz played U.S. Congressman George Santos on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Lovitz lives in Beverly Hills, California, and is close friends with Adam Sandler. He was also good friends with Penny Marshall and Phil Hartman, whom he described as the big brother I always wanted. Lovitz participated in the new Celebrity Apprentice, raising $50,000 for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital before being the 6th contestant eliminated, placing 11th. John Lovitz's net worth is estimated at $12 million. Mara Wilson as Matilda. Matilda Wormwood, the central figure in the 1996 film Matilda, was expertly brought to life by child actress Mara Wilson. As a young prodigy with remarkable intelligence, Matilda also possesses extraordinary abilities such as telepathy and psychokinesis. She is a compassionate individual, always eager to assist others, particularly those in need. Mara Wilson was born on July 24, 1987, in Burbank, California, as the eldest daughter of Susie Wilson, née Shapiro, a PTA volunteer, and Mike Wilson, a broadcast engineer at KTLA. Wilson developed an interest in acting at the age of 5, inspired by her older brother Danny's appearances in television commercials. Despite initial reluctance from her parents, she soon started appearing in commercials and was later cast in the 1993 comedy Mrs. Doubtfire as Natalie Hillard, a role that earned her significant recognition. The following year, she featured in the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. Wilson is known for her recurring role on the podcast Welcome to Night Vale as the faceless old woman who secretly lives in your home, and for hosting her own storytelling show, What Are You Afraid Of? In 2016, she briefly returned to television in a Broad City episode inspired by Mrs. Doubtfire, where she portrayed a waitress in a reenactment of the film's iconic Heimlich scene. That year, she also voiced Jill Pill, an anthropomorphic spider, in Season 3 of BoJack Horseman and Liv Amara, Diane, Di Amara in Big Hero 6, the series. In a 2017 NPR interview, Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson, mentioned that a young Wilson inspired a character's voice on the Simpsons episode, Bart Sells His Soul. Wilson has 3 older brothers, Danny, John, and Joel, and a younger sister, Anna. She is related to political commentator and media host Ben Shapiro, but they have no contact due to their differing political views. In 2015, Wilson participated in a video for the mental health charity project You Are OK. where she shared her experiences with anxiety, depression, and obsessive-compulsive disorder. Mara Wilson's net worth is approximately $500,000. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the cast's past and present, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We love hearing from you, so drop a comment below and let us know which cast member's story surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with more behind-the-scenes stories and updates. Until then, keep enjoying your favorite films and shows.